So this video is part of a series. In this series, I share the building of JT and what I'm learning and how I'm growing, what I've come to believe that tea can really do. So if you've been watching the channel, you know, I lived in Taiwan for 6 years and it was a very transformative experience. And one of the things that was challenging about it is that when I would come home to the States, I would visit with old friends and I would try to share the stories. But when I came back to Oregon, I found it hard to talk about. People didn't really get it until I found tea. Through my tea business, I discovered that sharing stories of Taiwan, tea masters, and cultural exchange wasn't just accepted, it was appreciated. And that's one of the reasons why the tea house was such a blessing, you know, because once I had that lens of the tea house and once I was pouring tea and sharing the stories with people that actually wanted to hear those stories, it was a match. One of the things that is just continually really a blessing and amazing is to be able to continue to share these stories. Where we live here and then where I was living in Taiwan, the cultures and what's happening on a day-to-day basis are so different. That it's almost impossible to imagine that these two worlds exist on the same planet. It's just such an extreme difference in reality. And so that is something that it took me a long time to get used to. But then once I learned to appreciate this, it was just something amazing. But one thing I've heard this process described as is what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between these two worlds. And in one of the methods I've heard to describe this is that we're laying down stepping stones in the void that is the gap between these two worlds. It's quite a difference. And so by setting these stepping stones down in the hopes that we can build cultural appreciation and cultural understanding and try to develop an appreciation of something that's other and something that is different than what we're used to, our way of knowing and doing, and then this other way of knowing and doing, so that it's not much of a comparison where we're not comparing to say, well, which is better? You know, it's not about better or worse. It's about developing the understanding, developing the bandwidth to hold the appreciation and be able to contemplate. So the tea house, like I said, has been a blessing in the fact that it is the space where I have been able to share so much and so many stories and so many experiences that have happened throughout my life that I hope in turn will help other people develop appreciation as well as curiosity and a possible willingness to learn from other cultures. That's my sincere hope in the everyday operation even of the tea house. Tea is something much more than a beverage. And it's something that is so vast of a world, it's hard to put into words. But we all know when we experience good tea and we have that sort of transformative experience where we're on a journey of tasting tea, where the sip evolves and the sip, the way it tastes is different from the beginning to the middle to the end. And the way that a tea session might unfold, where you go on that entire journey of the experience. And that again is a metaphor or a window into this cultural experience that is tea, but also the ability to appreciate and understand other cultures. So yes, I'm so grateful for everyone that has been a participant and encouraged me on my journey, encouraged me and listened to these stories I've told. And thanks for watching. Visit us at JT International. That's TEA spelled out, J, the letter J, TEAinternational.com. Subscribe to our newsletter and you'll get a 20-page PDF called The Guide to Tea. Follow us on Instagram at JTEA spelled out again, JT International, at JT International. And every Tuesday at 2 p.m., we're going to release a new video. So be sure and subscribe and like and comment. We appreciate hearing from you.